Welcome to the talk show Life Stories with Marc Hoberman. The goal of this show is to provide a learning experience to people of all ages, with guests from various fields in academics, a wide range of industries, and insight into the many forms of art, athletics, and entertainment. We hope you enjoy the show. Our guest today is Brent Harvey, the founder and executive producer of the Hollywood Music and Media Awards. He is also the founder of the KBH Entertainment Talent Agency. Brent will also be speaking about his experiences in the world of Hollywood.
Hello and welcome to the talk show Life Stories with Marc Hoberman. My guest today is the founder of Indie Thursday and the co-founder of the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, Brent Harvey. Brent will be speaking about his life in the award show arena as well as his company, KBH Entertainment. Let's bring him on. Brent Harvey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so great to have you. Brent,
what are we going to be talking about?
I have no idea. Brent, we're all privy to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. That's you. What was the genesis?
Yeah, it really looks like me, huh?
Yes, yeah. What was the genesis of your entrance into the world of entertainment?
The genesis? Actually, it started way back in high school. I was very active in the theater club or the theater department, drama department. And I starred in all the musicals, right? I was Fagin and Oliver, and I was the Music Man, I was, Jesus Christ Superstar, all that. So it really started there. And my first instrument was trumpet, so I was in band. So I learned a little bit about music. Then I found out, girls like rock and roll. So I started playing guitar and all of that. And then as far as my production experience, it was kind of a fluke. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, and in Anchorage they had, in 1971, they had, giving away my age now, in 71 they had the first annual People's Festival, right? So it was just a big music festival, and it was kind of like, an outdoor festival. And I was expecting the second annual, but found out they weren't going to do it. So me, as a 15-year-old kid, without knowing any better, I said, I'll do it. So through donations from the city and local businesses, I did a outdoor concert, the Alaskan version of Woodstock, 12 bands on 2 flatbed trucks in downtown Anchorage, Alaska. And the very next day, the entire front page of the Anchorage Daily News was my event. And I said, okay, I guess I kind of know what direction I'm going in. So that's what put me on my path.
That's incredible. I mean, some people say, well, I wanted to get involved in this school show or this and that. You went, boom, let me just put on something that's the equivalent of Woodstock in Alaska. That's truly incredible. And there's some parallels here. I didn't play the trumpet. I wanted to. I ended up playing the clarinet, although my favorite trumpet player, my favorite musician is Maynard Ferguson, famous trumpet player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But actually, it's interesting because you mentioned the different shows they put on in the school. The first one my elementary school put on was Oliver Twist. That's what Fagin is from. And but I wasn't in that one. I don't mean to brag. I was in The Wizard of Oz, and I did play one of the Munchkins, and I sang. We represent the Lollipop Guild, so that's my claim to fame. So I'm getting those memories, or shall I say, nightmares, are coming back to me now. So that's incredible at the age of 50.
I was a big ham. I was kind of like, I made myself into a big fish in a little pond. Anchorage at that time was pretty small. So I was getting local news coverage. I mean, I was voted Fire King of Anchorage, at 14 or 13 or something. And then I did all the plays, and, that's what just kind of got my juices going. And that's where everything just kind of led.
Did some of these musical groups have to ask you, the 15-year-old teenager, hey, where do I set up? And are you the person they dealt with?
Yeah, I was the entertainment director, and I was the MC, and I was basically the producer of the whole thing. I got the local ad hoc committee involved to help with the support structure of the infrastructure. I mean, I did everything with donations from city and local business, except for I had a $280 bill for porta toilets.
Wow, that's probably $1,200 now. But,
yeah,
that's incredible. Wow,
yeah.
How exciting, and I'm sure a lot of stress, but So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was fun. It was exhilarating, and I knew what direction I wanted to go in. So I got a job at 17, underage, at a nightclub, doing sound, lights, and playing records in between the band sets. That was before DJs were a thing. And one of the bands that came through, they really liked what I was doing and said, "Hey, you want to join us on tour and be our roadie and do our light, sound, and all that stuff?" And I said, "Okay." And then I went on tour with the band through Canada and Northwestern United States, and they found out I could play, sing. And, it was a horn band, so I did a little trumpet and did the Eagles songs on guitar, and so I became a member of the band. And whenever we came to Los Angeles, we played a place called the Red Onion, which was a small nightclub chain at the time. There was only 3 of them, and the band broke up when we were playing at the Red Onion in LA, and the owner said, "Hey, you want a job as a DJ? You're 3,000 miles away from home. Do you want a job?" I said, "Okay." So I became a DJ for that nightclub chain, and I stayed with that company for 16 years. And that nightclub chain grew into 17 locations, and I became entertainment director. So I was finding all the live bands and hiring all the DJs, training all the DJs, writing the training manuals, programming all the music for everything from day brunch to happy hour to late night dance, club stuff. And so that's where I cut my teeth on the business of music, was working for this nightclub chain. And the owner of the nightclub chain was a mentor of mine, and he gave me outstanding opportunities that nobody should even have. I mean, I was producing, like TV commercial, in-house video promos and radio commercials and doing voiceovers and doing all this stuff, and having all of this resources at my hands that nobody else, had that kind of opportunity. So I made the best of it, I thought. And then the nightclub chain closed in 1993, and that's when I said, well, I can either go to work for another business or another club chain or something, or develop a appetite for beans and start my own business. So I ate beans for a while.
I hear you. I'm so interested in this because as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of Maynard Ferguson. So my school had, the district had a grant, use it or lose it grant. They said, "Oh my God, we have this $8,000 left if we don't use it soon." And within 2 or 3 months, we were able to book Maynard Ferguson and his band to come into the school. Reason I'm bringing that up again now is that we had someone doing the lights, the person in charge of the media, Curry McCarthy, was so good with training the kids. This guy was so good at lights that at the end of the show, the Ed Sargent, Maynard's producer and road manager, said, "Hey, we want to take this guy with us." And I don't know if he was joking or not, but I just said, "Oh yeah, come back when he graduates." But at 15, that means there are people watching this at 25, and they're like, "Boy, I'd like to get started in this." You were like an old pro already. You had 10 years in the business at the age of 25. And when someone says to you, "Hey, you want to go on the road at 17?" you say yes. So the question is, how cool were your parents?
Well, I was raised by a single mom, and she was the greatest. She bought a house by herself. She put herself through college, got a degree, and held down 2 jobs. So my appreciation for the fair species is immense, and I can't be a bigger supporter of woman power. Women rule the world as they should, and that's a whole nother topic we can get off on. But I'll try to keep it focused here.
Excellent. I agree with you, and I'll tell my wife I said that after the interview.
Oh,
you are the founder of Indie Thursday. So what can you tell us about that endeavor? This is not something that you took over. Now you're creating.
No. That was just a little thing that I did because in 2009 I did the first Hollywood Music and Media Awards at the Hollywood and Highlands Complex in Hollywood, and the Renaissance Hollywood Hotel, which was part of the complex, the marketing director saw the show and found me after the show and said, "Hey, we're thinking about putting music in our lobby, and a lot of music artists." And I said, "Yeah, you could do like it'd be like a Holiday Inn, just put music artists in there, piano bar and all that kind of stuff. But we can make it a thing." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I go, and I just kind of came up with it. What we do is we put in 4 stripped down live performances in the lobby. They bring their crowd, I bring VIPs, and the VIPs in the crowd would pick the best band out of the lineup for the night, and that band would have their own night at the hotel and get paid by the hotel. And that's kind of a big deal in Hollywood for an independent music artist to actually get a paycheck for playing their own music plus covers. So that was kind of a big deal. And I did that for 2.5 years. And in that time, I put over 400 independent music artists in paid gigs in Hollywood, which is unheard of.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, that's well beyond any number I've ever heard of. I haven't heard numbers out of the 10 or 11. You're talking about 400. Yeah. So now let's talk about
that's just one little thing,
Yeah, that's all.
I've done a lot of stuff, but we don't have all day, so I'm not going to fill up all your time.
Sure. Well, I think that's amazing though, because the independents, get eaten up sometimes by the big boys, and the fact that you support them like that is incredible.
I work with big names, and I book marquee entertainment headliners and fundraise big money corporate gigs and shit like that. But I'm still excited about when I find that diamond in the rough, and there's nothing else like it. Nothing else like it. And no matter how long I've been, I do this job, in this biz, there's nothing that's going to get my juices flowing. One of my quotes is, the biggest stars I've ever met are the ones you've never heard of.
I'm sure. And Brent, what you're talking now is really old school. Great stuff. Because back in the day, somebody would be noticed and signed. Some producer would go with his wife or his girlfriend.
From an A&R guy, right?
Yes.
A&R guy. What's that? Artist repertoire. Oh, what's that?
Right, yeah. Exactly. And now years later, I worked with somebody who was Gary Turner, who was part of Gary's gang, who did Keep on Dancing in the 70s. Yep. And then years later, and he runs camps now. And his son, had a band, and they went somewhere, and a label heard them and said, "Oh my God, we love you. When you get 1 million followers on YouTube, come back. We can't wait to sign you." So it's so different than the old school thing. You talk about finding that diamond in the rough. Now it's like, what can you do for me so I can make you make money and you make me money? So, well, yeah.
It may be corny, but I define my success on the success of others. So that's the way I live my life. That's the way I run my business. So the only way I can be successful is if you're successful. So what I do is I try to create opportunities, open that door, crack the door open. You're going to have to walk through it and get to the other side. But I have the opportunity to create that opportunity in a myriad of different ways. A good example is this in Hollywood, in LA, you can't play a nightclub unless you have a following, but you can't get a following unless you play a nightclub. So it's kind of like
catch-22.
Yeah, catch-22. So I try to provide opportunities for artists that come to town that don't have a following, because I rely on honesty and professionalism. So if you give that to me, that's what you'll get back. So I ask for honesty, and if an artist doesn't have a following, fine, good. I'll put you in a situation where you won't have to have a following. So these are little acoustic showcases that I do. And I put this one girl from Stockton. She contacted me somehow. She looked me up, and I put her in a little showcase, and she did her first song. After her first song, I picked myself up off the ground and went, "Where the hell have you been?" Wow. She finished her set. And I stayed in contact with her. I introduced her to a bunch of producers that I know, and she was booked solid for a year in vocal sessions. Mm. She went to American Idol. She made top 12. I had her perform one of the nominated songs at my award show in 2018. That song was "Shallow" from A Star Is Born. She performed the song, blew the roof off the sucker. Diane Warren comes up to me and goes, "Brent, do you think that girl can sing my demos?" And I went, "Yeah." These are success stories that happen in real time. That's just one, okay? But these are things that come from nothing. I create an opportunity, and it's up to the artist to do the rest. And you said, yes, the business has changed immensely from where it used to be. It used to be Tower Records and KT, the radio stations. That's how you found music. It's not that way anymore, obviously. But it's so important. Anybody can record at home. Anybody can record music. Anybody can actually do the auto tune and make it sound great and everything. But I tell you what, if the music that you record that sounds so great, if you can't translate that into a live show, you got nothing, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, and it's a great philosophy. I wish more people were like you. But now we have to talk about the Hollywood Music and Media Awards. I love the fact that you honor musicians and composers. Kind of personal to me. My grandfather, although I only met him twice, Harry Lubin, was actually the composer for the 1950s and 60s shows, One Step Beyond, the Loretta Young Show, big in Hollywood. Yeah, big deal. And historically, composers have not always been in the limelight. So what led to your decision to highlight those members of the Hollywood elite?
This is another situation of me seeing a void in a space. You have all the visual awards, like the film and TV awards, like the Emmys, Golden Globes, Oscars, all that kind of stuff over here. And on this side, you have the music awards, Grammys, Billboard, American Music Awards, Country Music Awards, and they're based on record sales, they're based on radio play and all that kind of stuff. But in the middle, in 2008, I was involved with licensing and things like that and working with catalogs. And I saw a void that the way people were discovering and being exposed to new music were through all of these visual mediums that were exploding: film, television, video game, commercial advertisements, trailers, all of this. People were discovering music through these mediums. So I was very conscious of how specific I named the award show. Hollywood, number one, it's a very shiny object, because anywhere outside the city limits of Los Angeles, it's a big deal, the word Hollywood. And then music and media. I wanted to recognize the people that make best song and best score in all visual mediums: documentaries, commercials, trailers, all that kind of stuff, and the film and TV. And it was very important to me that it was done based on the merit of the music. In other words, not just because you had a blockbuster film, you're going to get nominated. It's how the music is used, the quality of the music, all of that stuff. So I was very adamant about being very credible. So we would have, like, best score for a feature film. You'd have all, some of the big names up there, John, whatever, Hans Zimmer and everything. But then you'd have some other up-and-comer composers that did incredible scores for these other kinds of movies that didn't have the name value. So the studios and networks started noticing, especially 6 years ago, because all of our nominees and all of our winners became, all of our nominees and winners become the nominees and winners in the music categories of the Golden Globes, the Oscars, the Grammys, and all that kind of stuff. The date that I chose to do, the time period that I chose to do the awards, is the week before the entire entertainment industry goes on vacation, which is the week from Thanksgiving to the first week of January. The entire entertainment industry is on vacation. So I wanted to be the last award show before everybody went on vacation. So that's why we have it where it is. And now all the studios go, wait a minute, these guys know what they're talking about. It's not a fluke that their nominees and winners go on to win Oscars, Golden Globes, and Grammys. So now all the studios and networks want to be a part of it, and they understand the value in it, because the people that get nominated or win in our award show, this is their FYC campaign for the entire next 3 months for their Oscar campaigns or their Golden Globe campaigns and all that kind of stuff. So actually, in a nutshell, I just saw a void, I filled it, and I was very adamant about being credible and not just pandering to, hey, let's make sure we have a big name in here. So we were able to expose new composers to the studio industry. I knew the importance of music supervision. We were the first awards show to have outstanding music supervision categories. Now the Emmys actually have a music supervision category, and the Oscars are going to follow that. So I'm very proud. In 2009, it was our first HMMA. And then in 2010, the Grammys come up with the category of Best Music for a Visual Medium. Oh, how convenient. But you know, I'm proud of of us being first in a lot of ways, and kind of being a trailblazer and recognizing the music of all of these visual mediums. Because Eric Roberts told me in 2010 on the red carpet, he said, music is the most important character of a film. And I went, that's a quote, because that's right on. Try watching a film without music and then the same film with music, totally different.
So unfortunately, we're out of time here, but Brent Harvey, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your passion for everything Hollywood, from music to awards to incredible company. You've given us a clinic pretty much into the world of entertainment, the music end. So thank you again for that.
My pleasure.
Thank you. To the viewers, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Brent, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Life Stories with Marc Hoberman. To contact Marc, email him at info@lifestorieswithmarchoberman.com or visit him on social media through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Thank you for watching Life Stories with Marc Hoberman.